excited for this interview. So
thank you guys for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for being on. So we're gonna keep it pretty brief.
We should introduce ourselves.
Oh yeah, we should introduce. I'm Beth Ann.
And I'm Leah.
Nice to meet you guys.
Yeah, so we'll keep it pretty short to 30 minutes for you.
Okay.
But yeah, we'll go ahead and jump right in. So
perfect.
Yeah, so give me a brief synopsis on your journey to becoming the 7th best metal guitarist, which props to you.
Thank you.
Majorly awesome. So yeah, give me the journey to that.
I mean, it's pretty crazy. Like I tell people all the time, we didn't skip any steps in our journey whatsoever. Like me and Josh met when we were 11, and like we basically like started jamming covers, like Green Day and like all sorts of stuff.
Yes.
And just kind of like, we knew we wanted to be in a band and we knew we wanted to do this for a living. But we were kids, so it was kind of just like playing at the talent show and then playing local shows and then DIY touring. And it was like, basically we did every step, sleeping in Walmart parking lots,
yes,
playing to one person or the bartender or whatever. And it's been a grind, but it's been really cool because we like enjoyed it so much, and it's what we've always wanted to do. So we looked at all the hardships like it was a means to an end, you know what I'm saying? Like, and we kind of laughed it off all the time. But it's been a grind for sure, but it's been a lot of hard work, but it's been super rewarding,
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I love that you guys like met at 11, because I feel like in our research history, you either get bands like Green Day who met in middle school and it just actually worked out, and then you have bands that met in middle school and formed a band with a really like not best
really
band,
dumb name,
really dumb band name, and then they just kind of move on in paths. So that's really impressive though that you guys just kept at it. That's so awesome.
Yeah, we definitely had a good like support system, and we knew pretty early on like what we wanted to do, so it wasn't hard. A lot of kids, like, especially it's harder sometimes when you meet a lot of musicians meet that early and start bands that early, because sometimes they like grow out of it. They're like, by like college, they're like, I don't want to do this anymore. But we kind of knew really, really early that we definitely wanted to do it. So, and it was good to have a partner like Josh, like we both knew so early, and we kind of took the journey like together from the beginning. So we were like, we had like a solid support system, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely awesome that you guys kind of knew your direction. That's so great.
Yeah.
And then speaking of kind of like that time period, was there any like guitar players or bands that really inspired you or inspired you both to be like, yeah, this is where we're going?
I mean, first and foremost, it's so cliche to say, but all of our favorite band is Metallica. So like,
that's
it
fine.
Is, when we started playing, especially when I started playing, like that was the only band, like Nirvana was kind of like my catalyst. Like that was the first rock band I got into. But when I found Metallica, it was like, I would watch Metallica and listen to Metallica only for like 2 or 3 years and just learn guitar to them. And so it was definitely them first and foremost. But then, it ventured into like, Pantera, like Dimebag Darrell, or like, Slash and Guns N' Roses, or, like just a lot of those kind of guys that I really loved. I like Zach Wild. Like I liked like Guitar Hero type players that like had a lot of personality and were very good shredders, but like, you knew them when you heard them, you knew it was them. So those were kind of like always my favorites, and kind of who I modeled myself after when I was learning.
Yeah. I love that. Especially what you were saying, like you find guitar players and once you hear them, you know them. I think sometimes we lose that in today's rock. Like we just kind of make the same things.
Very vanilla.
Yeah. There's really like to actually like find guitar riffs. Like when you hear it, you're like, I can name that band. I can name that album.
That's Slash.
Yeah. And it's super cool. Like I tell me and Josh and like me and the band talk about it all the time. It's like, there's like guitar players today are probably so much better than they've ever been. Like technically, like, so good. You see guys on YouTube and you're like, oh my God, he's so good. But it's like, there's nothing that separates them from the last player. It's like Slash might not be technically as sound of a player. Kirk Hammett might not be technically as sound of a player as some of these guys, but they have that extra it factor that makes them special. And like, that's always kind of been myself personally as a guitar player. Like a bigger goal than just like being technically better than everybody, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You can have all the tools in the world, but if you can't put them together to make art, then what's the point?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. And kind of like going off of that, so I discovered you on TikTok back in January, and I was just like blown away because I'm just like, this is exactly like the content that we look for. And I saw you do a few covers of like Gojira, Lamb of God, like some really, Gojira is just making some really good stuff right now, especially.
Oh yeah, always.
Yeah, and their new stuff that they're coming out with is just, I'm really excited for the new stuff. But I'm just curious because these songs, as we were kind of talking, they are not easy to do. I mean, sure as hell, I mean, I don't really play guitar, but so I'm just curious, what was your funnest one like learning to play, and what was the hardest one learning to play?
So it's really funny. What's super funny about that TikTok thing is like I was like a TikTok grouch. Like I was like, oh, TikTok. And one day, like me and Josh were at home, and he's just like, dude, please put up a video of you on TikTok and just do it for me. And I'm like, why? I have I had 0 followers. I literally he was like, just make a page right now and put up one video. And I'm like, this is so dumb. So I think I was like on the toilet. I was like, you know what? Whatever. I like put a video up and like, you know, made my TikTok, put a video up and went to bed. Like literally, and Josh like knocked on my door to my room at like 7 a.m. and he's like, have you looked at your TikTok? I was like, no. And he's like, dude, you have like 100,000 views on this video.
Dude.
And I was like, it's so stupid. I would have forgotten about it, like never looked at it again. So anyway, this is funny you said that.
That's so funny.
Sorry.
Oh, you're good.
But yeah, so your question was like, was it how did I choose to
So what would you say
Oh,
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there. So what was your funnest TikTok cover that you did, and what was the hardest one that you did?
Well, you know, it's interesting because I never made a video for TikTok. Like it was always like I would just be jamming certain songs and I'd be like, oh, I guess I could film it and just throw it up there, you know. But it was like stuff I already knew or was already learning. It wasn't like necessarily for TikTok. So I don't really, they're all fun, and I guess they're all about equally as difficult or not so difficult. Maybe one of the Lamb of God riffs or something like that. Probably, I guess would probably be like the most technical, I guess, of the batch.
Nice.
So what you're saying is you haven't solved the TikTok algorithm to getting famous.
I guess not. No.
You know, TikTok.
It's a wild world.
As I would say, an older millennial, TikTok both can be the most entertaining thing, but it fools you because you're like, I can make that stupid shit and 2 seconds become famous, and then you post something. It's like
you don't.
No, it has not chosen you.
It's actually pretty cool because TikTok has way more of a organic like reach than any other platform. So like, if you put up a video, you can get thousands and thousands and thousands of views on it without really doing anything, versus like if you do it on Instagram or somewhere else, you know, you're not going to have that much of a reach as TikTok. So I think that's why a lot of like artists are kind of like switching to that or starting to pay more attention to TikTok because of that.
I will say from like a podcast perspective, it's very good for like scouting new talent and just in general finding new music.
You're our 3rd TikTok artist, I think, that we found from TikTok. So
yeah, that's really cool.
So I mean, it helps us find awesome artists like you guys. So
I guess, hey, whatever works.
Yeah, absolutely. So one thing, you know, because like I was saying, I found you on TikTok and I'm like, this is awesome. You know, one thing me and Leah really strive for in our podcast is, you know, because we're 2 women in rock and roll talking about rock and roll, and we love to highlight women in rock and roll. So if you're open to talking about this in your own words and experience, why is visibility, and I would say especially in the metal scene or just rock in general, why is that important?
You know, I mean, it's interesting because I feel like I kind of like accidentally got to this spot, and because like I was always like really like into stuff that was not like part of like my demographic. Like I was into like hockey and motocross and skateboarding and just shit like that I just had no business being into, but I loved it. You know, fishing. And now like when I found metal, it just like made sense. But like when I started playing, I was very much like, oh, I want to be like Kirk Hammett. I want to be like Dimebag Darrell. Like I never thought of myself as any different. until like a little further in our career, and people started saying like, oh, you know, you don't see like people like you a lot, or like what you're doing in this genre, like you just don't see that. And then I started having to think about that a lot, you know, like I grew up in like a very like white environment, went to private school, with a bunch of rich white kids. Like it's just like I was around just white kids all the time, so I didn't pay attention to that very much. But as we progressed, you know, I get a lot of messages now from, you know, different minorities and women and all sorts of things who are like, you know, you've made me feel comfortable and liking this kind of music. You know, like I get made fun of at school all the time. People say I like white music and all this stuff, but like, you know, I can show them you, or I can listen to you, and like I don't feel like I'm doing something wrong, you know. And so that made me kind of be like, wow, that's crazy, because I never even thought about it that way, or that people kind of struggle with that. Like I've always been very like sure of myself, and always like had a very like, I was okay with being different. I was just always like very strong-willed. So like if anyone made any comment like, oh, you listen to white music, I'd laugh and be like proud of it, you know, like whatever, it didn't bother me. But it's good to know that like the representation that I give, you know, helps a lot of people. And I think and others too, it helps, you know, it lets, whether it's like a kid that wants to start playing an instrument him or herself, you know, they can feel like, okay, like Diamond does it, or XYZ does it, like I can do it too. Or even if it's just listening and feeling comfortable at shows, or, you know, in festivals and stuff like that. However, it's definitely important, I think.
Yeah, I love that. I love that answer. And one of the things like we talk about sometimes is the elitism that sometimes comes with rock music, especially when you start breaking down subgenres like, oh, I only listen to metalcore, I only listen to thrash. And, you know, just having that representation of, hey, I listen to what I like is just so crucially important. So,
oh yeah. And like I'm very much like a metalhead. Like I love metal. It's what I listen to 98% of the time.
Yeah.
But, you know, I listen to everything from freaking country to, you know, hip hop to alternative to whatever. I can find something that I like. But metal is definitely my thing. You know, you'll more likely than not, that's what I'll be jamming. So.
I get it. That's awesome. Oh, sorry. I thought you had some.
Oh, no.
So to talk about Tetrarch real quick, because, you know, love what you guys are doing. You guys, I love the new sound that's coming out of you guys. It both reminds me of, you know, some like that early 2000s I listened to, and bringing it into something new today. And you guys have a new single that just dropped, a new single and video that just dropped for Negative Noise.
Yeah.
Super awesome. And you also have an album dropping, which is even more awesome, called Unstable on April 30th. Yep. That's so exciting. So tell me more about that album.
So with that album, we actually started writing it in at the beginning of 2019. And we wanted it to be an album that we took as much time as we needed to on. Like we didn't want to rush it all. So we wanted to take as much time writing it and then as much time recording it as we needed. Like no stipulations or anything like that. So I think we started writing at the beginning of 2019. We went into the studio in October 2019, and we finished in February 2020. So we were in the studio for like 4 months. And like we were supposed to release it like summer of last year, but then, you know, all that weird stuff happened, you know, COVID and everything started happening. But it was kind of cool because last year ended up being a really good year for us. And I think it was because we were able to really pace like the singles and put a lot into the singles and get as much out of them as possible and go to radio with them, and just like everything kind of worked out for us in the positive. But we definitely wanted it to be like an angsty record, you know, like very angsty, kind of reminiscent of, you know, like you said, the early 2000s bands, you know, lyrically something that people can relate to. Yeah. And then just being able to be as heavy as we want to be, but also have like really hooky choruses. You know, we wanted choruses people can sing back and that were memorable, because our favorite bands have always been like the Slipknots and like the Korns and Metallica and stuff, who were heavy bands, but like they had melody. They were melody driven. You could sing back to them. Like people who weren't metal fans could get into them, you know. And that's kind of like how we modeled our stuff, and we wanted to put focus on for this record. So we're happy with it so far. So far, so good, it seems.
Awesome. Well, I love that you guys just took time on it too.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh yeah.
Oh, those are always the best albums. I mean,
And the industry doesn't want you to take time. They're just like,
Yeah.
push, release.
Yeah. Tour, record, breathe, maybe eat, and then go back to record, tour.
You don't get to eat.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we definitely like, we're very much about like our, we, like I said, we kind of have the mindset of like, okay, we welcome any like, any kind of guidance or any kind of like, like opinions or anything. We take a listen to everything, but for us, we're very much about the mindset of like, we've been doing this since we were 11. Like, we know Tetrarch better than anybody knows Tetrarch. So like, if we feel like we need to take this amount of time to do a record, we're going to take that amount of time to do a record. And like, it's really impossible for anyone to change their mind if we know.
Can I just say fuck yes? Because there are too many damn bands that get pushed around. I love you guys are just like, no, fuck it. We know who we are. And we're making a damn record.
Don't tell us what to do.
Yeah. I mean, we, my dad has been in the music business for a long time. He, since, for the last like almost 50 years now. So like, we had really good guidance coming up. And like, one thing he taught us from a very early stage, even when we were so young that we were like, Dad, this is stupid. We're 12, but one thing he taught us was like to always know our value and like always know our worth, because like in this industry, it's sadly one of the MOs is like making bands feel like they have no worth. Like that's how they keep them where they want them a lot of times. So like for us, we learned very early, like, okay, we know we're worth a lot. We know our band adds value to the genre, to the industry. So like, we want to be able to do things the way we want to do them if it's going to make it better for us and our fans, and for ultimately for whoever's doing business with us, so we kind of keep that in mind, like, and we know that like we're valuable, so we try to carry ourselves in that manner.
I love that. You got the best
in the least conceited way possible. Like, I don't mean that like a conceited way.
No, everything you're saying is perfect. I mean, there's nothing wrong with knowing your worth. I think you just got the best advice. That's so good. So yeah, congratulations ahead of time.
Yes.
For your album. It's also releasing a day before my birthday, so I will consider this a birthday gift. I cannot wait to hear it.
Happy early birthday. My birthday was a couple days ago, so.
Oh, that's happy early. Well, happy belated birthday.
Thank you.
Well, we're so excited for that to drop. And you guys have now that we're coming out of the COVID cloud, do you guys have any shows or festivals planned out?
We actually confirmed a couple last week or 2 weeks ago, and I think they're going to be announced like next week. So we are starting that, the train of getting ready for tours and like, confirming and booking things and stuff like that, because it seems like now we're headed out of this problem for now. So we should be announcing stuff soon, but they're definitely in the works. We're really excited. Some good
Fantastic stuff. Well, I hope you guys are coming out. We have a big festival called Blue Ridge Rock Fest right by us.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Hopefully, if we see you there, we'll see you there. But hopefully, we'll get to see you guys around.
Yeah, we'll be around for sure. We have a lot. We're planning on being on the road for like 2 years on this record. So
wow.
So everyone should be able to catch us somewhere.
Good.
So we'll see.
That's so awesome. Well, I'm gonna turn it over to Leah because we like to do some lightning round questions.
Okay. But I'll ask that last. So how many guitars do you own, and which one's your favorite?
I own probably not as many as I like. I probably own like 16 or 17. And
only 16.
I love that.
My favorite is probably my newest one. I have a couple favorites for different reasons, but like my favorite is probably my ESP E2 that I just got. That ESP that just sent me. And then I have a Gibson Les Paul Standard that my parents bought me when I was 13. So like that one has like sentimental value, and I played. It was the first expensive guitar I ever got. It was like a $3,000 guitar, and I played it for probably like 10 years. Like that was the main guitar I played until we got an ESP. So it's kind of both of those, but I'd say my newest ESP too.
Nice.
Do aliens exist?
Damn.
Probably. I mean, I watched this thing about like how big the universe actually is and like the galaxy, and I'm like, they might not be green and like have antennas and stuff, but something is somewhere up there. Like we can't be the only one. So I'm gonna say
I agree. Which flavor of Starburst is the superior flavor?
I think candy is nasty, so none. I do not like candy.
Fair.
But if I had to pick one, because I like orange everything, like it'll probably be orange.
Good call.
Good answer. What was your most recent search on Spotify?
To be honest, it was probably Tetrarch to see what our monthly listeners look like, and I think that was like on my way here today. But before that, maybe it was Gojira because they just put out a new song.
Nice.
So like that plays it. Yep.
And then finally, our signature question that we ask everybody: if you were a cereal, what would you be and why?
Fruity Pebbles for sure, and not for any other reason other than the fact that I'm not a huge cereal person because I'm not a huge like sweet eater in general.
Yeah.
Like I love pizza and wings and just shit that's horrible.
Yeah.
But Fruity Pebbles was like my favorite cereal coming up because it was just, I don't know why it was so good.
It's good.
So I would probably pick Fruity Pebbles or it'd probably be Fruity Pebbles.
Fair enough.
That's a great answer.
For the record, there is no bad cereals.
No.
Well, except for cornflakes. That shit's not.
Cornflakes are useless.
Yeah, cornflakes, and I'm not a big Raisin Bran fan because I don't like raisins.
Yeah.
Raisins in cereal are just weird because they're sticky.
Raisins in general, I feel like, why not eat the superior grape?
Well,
why do you need
You can't make grape bread.
The hell, who wants raisin bread to begin with?
Raisin bread's
Anyway, I digress.
Before we let you go, where can people find you and Tetrarch on social media?
Pretty much if you type in Tetrarch on any platform, we should come up. But on Instagram, we're Tetrarch Music. On Facebook, Tetrarch. You type in search Tetrarch. YouTube, Tetrarch Live. Anywhere basically you type in Tetrarch or tetrarchmusic.com, you can find us there too. That's our official website. So you should be able to find us pretty easy. And I'm under Tetrarch Diamond a lot for everything, so you can find me there.
Nice and branded.
Awesome.
Consistency.
Yes. Well, Diamond, it's been so awesome to talk with you today. Thank you so much for being on the show. And we just cannot wait to hear your new music and see where everything goes for Tetrarch.
Thank you. And thank you guys for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to cut the episode there.
Yeah, we'll cut it there.
But yeah, seriously, thank you for being on this. I mean, like I said, I found you on TikTok and I'm like, this is the most amazing thing I've seen on this app. And there's
thank you.
Yeah.
That's literally what she sent to me and said, we have to interview Diamond.
Well, there's a lot on that app, so that's a compliment for sure.
Yeah. And so enjoy the rest. We're gonna probably drop this I'm gonna try to get it edited
Wednesday or Thursday.
It's either gonna be Wednesday or Thursday. We'll be in touch with Denise or Debbie from Adrenaline with a drop date for you, but we'll also be advertising on our social too.
Awesome. Well, awesome. I look forward to seeing it. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. And I hope you enjoy the rest of your night.
Yeah, same to you guys.
Take care.